Carol Johnson, the host of Thriving Against the Odds. And today we have an amazing thriver who will be speaking to us about his cancer journey. He's a young man and his name is Jeramie Nelson. Welcome, Jeramie.
Thank you for having me.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm 37 years old. I have 5 kids.
Okay.
I'm a Army veteran. I did 8 years in the Army.
Oh, wow. You look too young to be talking about 8 years in the Army. What?
I've lived a life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but Veterans Day is coming up, so happy Veterans
Thank
Day.
you. Thank you. But yeah, Army veteran, 5 kids, entrepreneur. I own 2 businesses, and I'm a real estate agent. Also a part-time power lifter.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I used to. I used to do powerlifting when I was in the military.
Okay.
Just something as a hobby.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
An author. I wrote a sci-fi novel as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sci-fi. You don't look like someone who would.
Everybody says that.
I mean, you know, quiet person who. So. Sci-fi? What was that? Something as a kid that you really loved and loved doing?
Yeah, I didn't start reading until I was an adult. Like really reading.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't really dive into books until I was an adult, and I have a love for anime.
Oh,
so I like,
yeah.
I like anime. I like to read Japanese manga. So I was sitting at home after getting out of the military, nothing to do at the time. And I was watching a lot of videos, a lot of random videos of just like guys just motivating you and telling you, guiding you a little bit.
Right.
And one of them was saying just, hey, use all the things that God has put on your heart, all the interests he's giving you, use them. So those things can become profitable. Those can be things that can last forever. So I just started writing. One day I was in the gym and the story came in my head and I just started writing in my phone and eventually I had a whole book out.
So what is the name of your book for our viewers who would like to, who may be sci-fi people? And of course I'm not, but now that you told me you're an author, I'd like to maybe take a look at it. Okay,
it's called The Anomalous, Rise of the New Generation. It's anomalous means different. So it's on Amazon.
Okay.
You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Books A Million website.
Are you a ghostwriter or is it under your name?
It's under my name.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeramie Nelson.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah.
Well, that is pretty cool. So how long did it take you to write that book?
It probably took me about 3 months. I was like, about 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I was literally just all day just with my phone in my hand, just writing. And nobody knew what I was doing.
Right.
Just writing. And then I know I wrote the first chapter probably in like an hour. And then I just went on social media and was like, hey, I'm writing a book. Who wanted to read the first chapter?
Okay.
Yeah. And people was like, yeah, send it.
Viral.
Yeah.
It went viral.
So I just emailed everybody the first chapter, got a good response. And I was like, okay, I'm finished.
Okay, I'm finished.
Yeah.
So anyone out there who has that burning desire, Jeramie is, as we said, a cancer thriver. And so if you've got a book that you want to write, he's a prime example of that.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Go for it. So are you originally from the South? Where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Miami.
Yes. UM.
Yeah, so I lived in Miami till I was about 12.
Okay.
Then we moved to Americus, Georgia. The small town, big difference.
Oh my God. Was it culture shock?
It was. I'm telling you, I remember the first time the night we got there, I got out of the car and I'm looking around and this big gnat just flew in my eye. And I was like, no, we got to get back. From there, I was ready to go.
Americus, I'm telling you, my father was a pastor, and so we would go to church down. Actually, we had a church he was assigned to down there, and those gnats were terrible back in the day.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought maybe, they were better now, but honestly,
they just get worse.
They just get worse.
Yeah.
But Americus, though, it is a hometown. It's a home environment. But just coming from a big city to a small city. So as you said, as a kid, it was culture shock. But then did you go to Americus High School? Where did you?
So I did go to Americus High School.
Okay.
Right when they merged.
Yeah.
They merged my 9th grade year.
Okay.
Cool. Went to Americus High School. I didn't graduate from Americus. I actually ended up going to Job Corps.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of that mindset that we was talking about earlier. About I was just like, I got a plan.
Yeah.
It's not here.
This is not here.
Yeah, and I was telling my brother, because I lived with my brother at the time. I was like, hey, I want to drop out of high school. I want to go to job corps. I want to go to the military. And he was like, nah, of course, nah, you ain't doing that. Go to school.
Right.
And I did it, and to this day, he'll be like, man, you used to tell me you had a plan and you stuck and you actually did it. Yep. So,
yeah. It seemed like now there are so many distractions. Back then, there weren't as many distractions in the 90s. That's here. Some of them are good distractions and some of them not. But you were a man with a plan, it sounds like. Okay.
Yeah, I always kind of thought a little different, I just, that structure, which is weird because I don't like the structure, but I went to the military.
That's right.
Yeah, but that structure of the like 9 to 5 job, just going to do high school, college, that what they tell us is the right way to do it. It never sounded right to me. It never felt right to me. So
gotcha.
I figured it out. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So you went into the military, and we'll just kind of jump right in to your thriving against the odds in regards to getting the diagnosis of the C word. So you were 20 years old. So tell us a little bit about what was going on and how did you find out about your diagnosis? Okay. Because this is for those younger people who may have some things going on and just really don't know. And so Jeramie can share that.
Yeah. So, like I said, I was 20, fresh in the military. I had just finished basic training, and I went to AIT in Virginia. That's basically where you learn your job.
Right.
And after that, I got stationed to Fort Lewis, Washington.
Okay.
So another culture shock.
Of course. My dad was stationed there. I think was his first duty.
Really?
Way back in the day.
Yeah. It's a nice place, but you definitely got to get used to it.
Okay.
But I got there, and it went from me being that top guy, like in basic, I was considered one of the top performers when it came to physical fitness, just leadership. I learned a lot about myself in basic, coming from Americas, and just in my household or whatever, I never was really too confident. Okay. So the military gave me that, and I never felt like I stood out. So the military gave me that. Okay. So I was riding the high. Okay. And I got to Fort Lewis, and for some reason, like soon as I got there, everything just started to change. Like my physical fitness changed. Just how I was interacting with people changed. I just kind of went back in that shell, and I couldn't tell why. And I started realizing now that, when I realized I was losing my confidence in like what I can do physically, it caused me to kind of revert back to what how I was as a child, just kind of quiet, played the back. And I mean, I never knew what was going on. It was like I was eating right, I was doing everything. And one day we was doing PT, and I did some push-ups. We was doing push-ups in 2 minutes. I knocked them out, and I was known for doing over 100 push-ups in 2 minutes. Oh, wow. And I got to like 60, and I just stopped. I was like, all right, I'm done. I just felt tired. And then did the sit-ups, did like 60, stopped, and we got to running. And, I'm just running, and everybody's like, oh, you just they say sandbagging, which means you just, yeah. So they're like, oh, you just sandbagging. Oh, you just lazy. Come on. And I knew something was wrong. And this was going on for months. Like, I just couldn't get right when it came to that. And this particular day, I knew something was wrong. So, I went to my sergeant and I told him, I was like, hey, I just don't feel good. My neck started hurting me. And I was like, I was like, is it okay if I go lay down? I went to my room and I went to sleep, like passed out, like didn't wake up till like 5 o'clock. Everybody was banging on the door. They had to come in. They was like, all right, just take the rest of the day. And my roommate at the time, he came in and checked on me, and he noticed I had a knot in my neck. And he mentioned it, and he was like, it hurts right there. Like, you got a knot right there. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. It was Friday. I was like, it's fine. I'm gonna go to sleep, and we gonna hit the streets later all night. So him being who he was, he came back later on that night and was like, hey, they having a party in the barracks. Gonna throw some clothes on, man. So I threw clothes on. He knew that was gonna get me up. I threw clothes on. We got in the car. He took me right to the emergency room. He had somebody. Yep. He had somebody waiting for me with a wheelchair and everything. And he was like, yeah, don't let him leave. He'll try to leave. Gotcha. And I went in. I remember sitting there, for hours, and they eventually did a like an X-ray. I think that's all they had to do. They drew blood and did an X-ray, and then I went into a room and I sat there. And this nurse, it was this lady. She came in, and she was an older lady, real nice, and she was just she didn't say anything the first time she came in. Then she came back and she was like, "You here by yourself? You got family around?" I was like, "No," and she was like, "Okay," and she left. And she came back and she was like, "Baby, you don't think you can get nobody here?" And I'm like, "Hold on, what's going on?" And she didn't tell me. Then she left, and I'm just sitting there ready to go. And she comes back and she was like, "Baby, you got cancer." And I was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "Yeah, you got cancer." And I was just sitting there like, "Oh, okay." So, because I didn't know how to take it. And I remember from there they had to do like an emergency surgery on my chest. So they opened up my chest to kind of get a sample of it, I believe. And I stayed in the hospital for like a week after that. My mom, the Army flew my mom up.
Okay.
Yeah, they flew my mom up to be with me. I was there. The whole people from my unit was coming in checking on me. And I don't think none of it really hit me. Yeah, but it was like I was just sitting there, just like, okay, what's going, like what's up?
What in the world?
Yeah, so it was just wild. And even like as an adult, when I think about it, it hits me more than when it did when I was that young. So I did that, and after I got out the hospital, I stayed up there for a little bit, and then and they told me, it was like, "Hey, you got to get treatment, so we are actually going to send you back home. So you're gonna go back to Americas, but and get all your treatment." And it was like I was still on active duty.
Okay.
Like I was in a check, they call check in, but I had to go through chemo and radiation from there.
Okay. And what form of cancer was it?
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's one that is very treatable. That they do say that it's very treatable.
Yeah.
So if it's something to quote unquote get, that's, because I do have family members who actually had the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned to stay away from Google though, because when they told me, I looked on Google and it was like,
and it had you dead.
Yeah.
It gloom and doom.
Yeah.
And everything was But there's been so much advancement, with cancer care and cancer treatments, and now there's immunotherapy. There's things that are specific to treatments to your own, DNA and so forth. So there have been advancements.
Yeah.
So how long were you going through? How long did you go through your treatment?
I went through the treatments. I did 8 rounds of chemo.
Okay.
Which is probably about 3-4 months.
Okay.
And then I did radiation for another 2 months after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
that experience was, I think that's when things really start to hit health wise. Like it really starts to affect you, because that chemo, it attacks you. It has to get what it has to do.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even through that process, I was still just kind of like very careless with my health. Just really wasn't taking none of it serious, and I guess because I was just young and just
at 20, correct.
and I kind of was in the what they call the soaking, like feeling bad for myself type thing.
Stage
denial. Like everyone around me was like, "What you doing?" Like I became a raisin drinker. Like I would drink all day long. I was out partying. And when people would find out, they were like, "You going through this? You out here?" I was like, so I went through so many phases.
Highs and lows.
Yeah, and then I was kind of, even though I was back home in Americas, my family's kind of all over the place.
Okay.
So I was still kind of by myself. And even my family who was there, everybody had their thing going on.
Yeah.
So I was still kind of by myself, getting up, having to get on buses, go drive to go get chemo, and come back and do the radiation, all that type stuff. So it was a lot.
So for your transportation, because that's what WCGCC does, we help people find transportation for their treatment. So you're basically was saying that you would have to get on the bus to go to your treatments and find various transportation assistance?
Yes, being that I was still in the Army, they took care of all of it. So what they did, they got Phoebe. They had their buses come get me, and then they'll take me there. And then if I had to go up to Albany to do the radiation, they took me up there. So I mean, it was a smooth process, honestly. As smooth as it could be.
Right, based on what you were going through. And so once you finished with your treatments and your chemo and radiation, and they gave did you ring the bell?
I didn't.
You did ring the bell.
Yeah, I did.
But once you were given a clean bill of health, did your mindset change at all? Because by that time, you're probably 21, 22. Were you still this careless, carefree young man,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, were you with the military? You were still in the military. Did you go back to your duty station or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's funny how it happened. While I was down there, they basically lost me in the system. So they put me down as being AWOL. So I was
You are kidding me.
Yep, they just lost me. They forgot they even sent me back. And I guess somebody told them, they gotta find this guy because he done left, but
you went AWOL.
Yeah.
I went AWOL to get my cancer treatment,
exactly.
but I'm AWOL. Okay.
So one day they just came knocking on my door, a sheriff. Was like, hey, they got you down as AWOL, and I'm like, huh? So they, what they did was when they found me and realized what they did, they assigned me to Fort Benning.
Oh,
yeah. So I was coming. I went to Fort Benning. I stayed there for about 6 months, finishing up my radiation and doing a lot of follow-up appointments.
Okay.
After the radiation was done, and then that's when I got sent to, where did I go after that? Maryland, Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland.
Okay.
Yep.
So with that diagnosis, did that change your MOS, or were you already? What was your MOS when you were?
I was supply sergeant.
Okay, so you were in the office, kind of.
Yeah. Throughout the day, yeah. But the thing is, when you're a supply sergeant, wherever you go, whatever type of unit you're in, you become that because you have to be able to do what they do.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was tough. Aberdeen is more like a training facility where the new soldiers come to do the AIT. So that was kind of like more relaxed. I was considered what they call cadre, like staff. So I was just helping out in that area.
That's great because stress, we know, is not good when you're going through any type of illness, but definitely something like cancer.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So you are past that phase, and do you have to go every year to get checked? Or
yes.
How do they?
Okay. Yeah, go yearly now.
Yearly. Okay.
And I just go up to, I like to go to Carl Vincent Medical Center in Dublin.
Okay.
Yeah, so I go there. They do my screenings and.
Okay. So when did you get out of the military? Was it related to your diagnosis, or you just had done your time?
So they wouldn't let me re-enlist because while I was in, I got diagnosed again. Okay. In the second time, it wasn't nearly as bad as the first time. It was a real quick thing. Like, okay, they noticing it. We're gonna
it's coming
give you
up.
This.
The numbers are going up. Kind of thing.
So they went ahead and took care of it, but my body just changed so much, and I had people trying to help me out, and I know I could have done it, but at the time, mentally, I just wasn't there no more.
Sure.
And I just didn't want to have to go through trying to get back to where I was at the time.
Gotcha.
So they just told me, it was like, yeah, we're going to have to, you won't be able to re-enlist. But, you will be able to, medically retire. Sure. Which at the time, that killed me because I had dreams of being a sergeant major. I wanted to be airborne ranger, all that type stuff. So it didn't work out. But, and I was down about that for a while.
I can imagine.
And I remember this gentleman, me and him never really talked that much, but in passing, he'll speak. And he was a sergeant. He came in the office one day. Like, he walked by, and then he just turned around and came in the office. And he was like, hey, I just want to tell you, man, like, keep your head up. He was like, you in your 20s and you about to get out, you about to retire. He was like, people live for this moment to be able to retire. So he was like, don't look at it as a bad thing, no matter what people do or say. Just keep doing you, and you're gonna be all right. And from that day when he said that, I felt great about it. You know, I looked at it differently.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thank you for your service. Thank
you.
you for all that you've gone through during your diagnosis. Like you said, as soon as you got in, it was like, oh my goodness, I'm diagnosed, and now I've got to go through, all of this stuff. And but you have truly a story. And so, was there anything at a point in your life after going through your diagnosis that something just resonated with you about doing life differently?
It was. I think there was multiple times. Really, I know during the process, I started seeing like kids coming to the hospital, going through chemo, and some of them not making it, and that always just stuck with me. And then, just kind of getting a relationship with God, just understanding that this is, being able to still be here is a blessing. Still, every morning we wake up and just be able to have that opportunity to get out of bed and do anything that we choose to do that day. That's a blessing. And do it healthy. Right. That's a blessing. So it just made me kind of sit back after I got out of the military, because while I was in, my mindset was just, I think I was just kind of already kind of gone.
Gone through,
and didn't take time to sit down with it. So after I got out, that's really when it, all started to come together. Like I just really sat with life, had more kids. I was in situations where, it was kind of hard to find jobs. It was, I was still sick, just doing things that was, kind of landed me in trouble with the law. So I just sat down and, really just reevaluated to try to get back to the dreams I had as a kid, like being what I wanted to see myself as. And I always used to say I wanted to get up every morning, put a suit on. I want to get up. I want to be able to move and go how I want to. So slowly I started to become that. And I feel like when I just got that mindset and I set it in my head that, that's when I'm gonna slowly start working towards. God started aligning things, like everything that I've done to this point from that day to now has been like just clearly seeing God move.
Intervention.
And I realize when people say, well, God, when God spoke to me, or, I saw God do this, I know now. Like I've seen it multiple times. And that's when I know that I'm doing something that I'm supposed to be doing.
You're supposed to be doing.
So,
Right. Wow. Jeramie, thank you. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers in regards to your journey? Or we didn't talk about is those babies, those kids. You have 5 babies.
Yes.
So what are the ages of your kids?
Okay, so I have an 18-year-old.
Oh wow.
18, 10, 8, 4, and 3.
And 3. Oh my goodness. And I know when you all are all together.
It's great. It's a great thing.
It's a great thing. Especially those little ones. They are just, now what's your 18-year-old? Is your 18-year-old graduating?
Yes, she's already graduated.
Okay. All right. All right. Great. Well, it has been a blessing talking to you, Jeramie, and just from the standpoint of a young person, because you said you're 38 now.
37.
37. I'm sorry. Trying to make you 1 year old.
That's all right.
37, but you were diagnosed at 20. So for a period of 17 years, you have been a thriver. And so we thank you for your time, and we'd like to thank you for tuning in to Thriving Against the Odds. Until next time.